My name is Leanne Sherrod. I'm a speech-language pathologist and the President and Chief Clinical Officer here at Expressful. Thank you for joining me to learn all about speech delays. When we talk about speech delays, we need to consider the speech and language milestones expected at each age. Children progress through their communication development much like a staircase. Each milestone builds on the other. It's important for a strong foundation to be set in the early stages in order for speech development to continue. Let's take a detailed look at the speech and language milestones expected from years 1 to 3. Your child's first birthday is a big deal. You're likely seeing your little baby transition into more of a toddler. And with these physical changes, you should also start to see a lot of communication growth. 1-year-olds should begin using some single words. These are usually related to things or people that are important to them, as well as things they're familiar with and see often. Think mama, dada, dog, or milk. These young toddlers should also be growing more social. 1-year-olds should turn their head at the sound of their name. They should be able to make gestures like waving, hello, and goodbye. Play skills are hugely important at this stage. 1-year-olds should be able to use their toys for their intended purposes rather than simply banging them together. You may see your child pretend to talk on a toy phone, pretend to cook in a toy kitchen, and even try to stack blocks. During the first year, you should also see some improvement in their receptive language skills. As you read together, ask your child to point to different pictures in a book. They should be able to start doing this. You can also try this with other items. When you're dressing your child, ask, "Where are your shoes?" See if they'll gesture to or grab the shoes laying nearby. When it comes to talking, you'll likely hear some early consonant sounds in a 1-year-old speech. Sounds like b, p, and d are easier to produce, so you'll hear them in many 1-year-olds' babbles and word attempts. When a toddler hits the 2-year mark, there is a lot of speech and language growth happening. At this age, you should see your child start to use 2-word phrases, which is an important building block for learning to form sentences and communicate more clearly. You may hear phrases like more please or give me. This ability opens up a whole new realm of independence for your toddler. As a whole, you should see a big jump in the number of words your 2-year-old can say. Every couple of weeks to every month, you should be able to list the new words they're using. Your kiddo should also be using consistent eye contact when speaking and playing with others. Nonverbal communication is just as important as speaking. Issues with eye contact may give insight into other developmental concerns, so it's important to watch for this. Following directions is a key skill at this stage. If you tell a 2-year-old, take off your shoes or go sit on the couch, they should be able to do it without much help or repetition. Following directions is a big clue as to their receptive language development. Communication skills continue to develop in a major way in 3-year-olds. Children this age are using all of their foundational skills like vocabulary and comprehension, as well as their social skills to be able to join in conversation. 3-year-olds should be able to answer and ask simple questions and keep up with the back and forth nature of conversation. These kids should also be able to explain what's happening around them. For example, if they see a dog running or a bird flying, they should be able to describe it. 3-year-olds should have speech that's easy for others to understand at least 80% of the time. They should be able to produce the b, n, m, p, h, w, and d sounds by their 3rd birthday. They should go on to produce the g, k, f, t, n, and y sounds correctly sometime during their 3rd year. Take a minute and think about how your child typically communicates. Compare it with the skills we've discussed for their age group. If they aren't meeting these age-expected milestones or any previous milestones, they likely have a speech delay. However, this can only be confirmed by a licensed speech therapist. Also, pay attention to how easily your child can communicate what they need to say. Children with speech delays may be more likely to get frustrated. They may act out by crying, yelling, or hitting in order to communicate. If your little one is exhibiting some signs of these behaviors, try to recognize that they may be coming from a place of frustration. Think about it like this. If you were unable to communicate when you're hungry or not feeling well, how would you get your point across? That's exactly what these young kids are trying to do. Thankfully, speech therapy can help alleviate their frustration and improve their ability to communicate. In our video on how speech delays are treated, we cover how to have your child evaluated with a speech therapist and exactly what speech therapy may entail.